Welcome, everyone. This is Virginia Parsons, your Hangout mentor and the host of the Inspirational Business Women Show. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be here today. We have a wonderful guest. I can't wait to introduce you to her. You know, I really love it that you're coming and taking your time because I know your time's valuable. So thank you for being here. And let us know where you're hanging out from. We'd love to hear because I know people are hanging out from all over the world, and it is our thrill and our passion to get a chance to know you as an inspirational businesswoman or businessman. So come on and say hi in the comment section. Now, you know, also it's my passion to provide you, the viewer, with a gold mine of entrepreneurial tips, strategies, and advice to grow your business from inspirational businesswomen in the know. So I know that you're also inspirational. So let us know what your passion is. Just share that in the comment section. We'd love hearing from you. And I really do want to create a collaborative effort here, a collaboration of inspirational men and women who are all sharing their passions and getting to know each other. So come on in and comment and say hi. Now, a little later, after we finish the broadcast, I will be also having an after show. Now, the after show is not recorded, so I don't want you to be shy. I'll be posting the link for the after show. You can come on in and join us and say hi to myself and our guest, Robin, and we can have a little fun in the after show where you don't have to be intimidated by the camera. Now, today's show is sponsored by hangout-marketing.com, where you can receive a free Hangout marketing assessment that basically measures your skill set and your knowledge base in using Hangouts on Air to brand, grow, and market your business. You know this is one of my passions, so all you need to do to take advantage of this is to text the word success, SUCCESS, to 307-269-2040. Now, this assessment will only take you a couple of minutes, and you might even qualify for a free strategy session with me where you and I will sit down and get into the nitty-gritty of your business and how you can use Hangouts on Air to grow and market your business and reach new heights of visibility. So take advantage of that, won't you? Now, I'm excited to introduce our guest to you today. She is none other than Robin Holland. Robin is a creative development consultant, and she's got 30 years experience in creativity, in advertising and marketing that I know you're going to find really beneficial to you and your business today. So we're going to talk about flexing that muscle, flexing your creativity muscle, right? So that you can deepen and find social solutions and easy solutions to what we call tricky problems. I'm sitting here looking at this, so I'm getting confused. Ricky problems, no. Tricky problems. All right, a little misspell there. All right, so we're going to find yourself there. She's got 3 techniques for doing it. One is to get mad to get clear. We're going to talk about that. We might even do a little exercise there. And then we're going to talk about emptying your mind so that you can fill it with these creative thoughts. And finally, how about let's get stupid so we can get smart? I think these are very creative things that we're going to be doing. So Robin, come on in and say hi to our audience, won't you?
Yes. Hi. And I'm so glad to be here and to welcome everybody. I saw quite a few people are here or coming, and I'm really excited to have this opportunity with you, Virginia, as well. So thank you, everyone, and thank you, Virginia.
Oh, you are so welcome. And yes, thank you, everyone, for coming in and starting to leave your comments. And I'll be acknowledging you in a little bit because I really appreciate your being here. So, Robin, 30 years, that's a lot of experience in creative development. And I know you have an amazing background. We probably don't have time to go into 30 years worth, but how about giving the audience some of the highlights of how your career has grown and blossomed over the years, and what a few good gems that you had from that experience?
Okay. Well, I started out in advertising at a very entry-level position because I got my degree in kinesiology, and I was headed for the world of physical therapy. After a little while in physical therapy, I decided that I wanted to, this was my little creative way of putting it, manipulate minds instead of manipulate bodies, which was back in the 80s with advertising. That was not the way really we were thinking about it, but you know, there's been a big change actually in the way advertising is done now, post-digital. Pre-digital, post-digital, quite a different, I think the world has changed. People are expecting different things. So anyway, I got to work in the big ad agency business in San Francisco, and it was like getting my MBA. It was really fun, lots and lots of creative people there. After that, well, I was there for about 7 years, and I worked on things like, I worked on packaged goods like Clorox brand things, and I learned how we would understand what people really cared about with their use of a simple product like a bleach, and then how to talk to them. And then I worked on prune juice. That was fun. Imagine that.
Now that takes some creativity.
It really does. I could talk a whole show about that, but I'll save that for another time. And anyway, I worked on the US Postal Service, and I had a lot of different experiences. I worked in media and planned media, so you know, all the number crunching side of advertising, which is really fun now to look at what's happening with, for example, Facebook advertising and how the number crunching works today versus back then. But I decided to jump over to the product side. I liked really being close to the people who were making the product so that I could understand what was really going on in the minds of the creators of the product and the people who were going to be using the products, and make sure that there was alignment. Oftentimes, you know, I'd work with other people in creative development, and they were like either just making a product in a vacuum, or they were marketing the product without really giving consideration to who was going to use it, and so there wasn't a match, and it made me crazy. So I worked for Gary Fisher for a little while. He is known for creating the mountain bike, and that was a really interesting experience working in the bike industry, where I met some of the most creative people in the world. And then I got to work at George Lucas's game company, Lucasfilm Games, where I kind of brought everything all together, actually, because I would go into the pit where the testers were testing the game and learn from them what the experience was that this game was providing, so that then our copy and our delivery of the message about the games would be properly given to the people that cared, that really cared about that product. So diving in, really experiencing the product, really creating a message that was aligned, and then understanding by talking to the people who actually wanted to buy the product, what they were looking for, you know, making that match. So what happened through all that process was I ended up working with my husband in our game development company. We made some really successful games like X-Wing and TIE Fighter, working with George Lucas, and we worked with Disney and some other big companies. I learned that not only do I love working with creative people, but that everyone is a creative. And I think one of my pet peeves in the world is that when I hear someone say, "Oh, I'm not creative," it just makes me crazy, because we're all creators. We all have created the lives that we have and the businesses that we have. And if we don't like something about what we have right now, we can change that, because we're that powerful. We can really, with intention and with purposefulness and listening to ourselves, we can really create whatever we want.
And you've created a wonderful little sidebar there called Sparketeer, and people are already asking about, okay, what's the Sparketeer?
All right, what's the Sparketeer? Okay. I find that when I'm with other people and they're sharing about what's going on in their world, I notice something about them, and I'll make a comment, and it will awaken something in them that they weren't aware of. And it's simply a spark. It's a spark I notice in them. It's a spark that I have too. And so when we are together, there's an activation or a sparking that occurs. And so I'm just running with it. I like to spark, and I think that it's a natural occurrence between human beings, but I happen to have a particularly good sparking capability. So that's what I love to do with people, with business owners, and with other people, just everybody. That I love to collaborate because it sparks things. And then when people who are so close to their own genius can't appreciate it, my spark often is the appreciation that helps them to move forward with what their genius is.
I love it. So you all connect with Robin's spark. I know that I do. Robin and I have met last year, wasn't it, Robin, when we were all working on the Hangout Marketing Challenge, so many of us, and you have a spark, and we connected right away, didn't we, when we got together, because there's that feeling about you. And when someone gives you the sense of, you know, openness, I'm open to receive and open to hear what you have to say, that's really so special. We were talking about that a little bit last week about, you know, digital intimacy. So you have some great creative ideas. Now, one of the challenges for so many of us, see, I want you to know that artistic I am not. As a matter of fact, I stopped doing anything in art in 7th grade. I said, this is not my thing. I cannot draw. I'm not good with colors, so don't make me go there. And I had my own creative blocks about anything that was artistic, and I just wanted nothing to do with it. So I think I'm a prime example of someone who has limited my ability to be creative through past ideas.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking you're going to have some great ideas for all of us here today who have this kind of limiting belief about being creative. And you've got some, what we would call some neat solutions to tricky problems. So you've got one I was fascinated by, calling Get Mad to Get Clear. Tell us a little bit about that one.
All right. So I said get mad because it's a strong emotion, but all of our emotions are mixed like a cocktail in us, you know. And sometimes they mix in such a way that they can be like the gas and the brakes. You know, one is causing us to move forward, while the other one is conflicting and holding us back. So whenever we have some sense that we're stuck and we're not moving forward, I think the first and best step to do is just tap in, like, what's happening emotionally with me? And anger, not anger like, you know, violence particularly, but something that you're feeling that you can get in touch with as a feeling, as an emotion, is really useful. So it doesn't have to be mad. It can be sad. It can be whatever you're feeling. In fact, one way to do it, maybe let's play with this one, is, okay, what's bugging you? You know, what's bugging you? Let's say, pick something that's bugging you today, right now, like, let's see, what's bugging me? What's bugging me is that my white screen of WordPress death happened. Okay, well, how do I feel about that? My website, I found out yesterday, was down and it was a white screen. How do I feel about that? I feel a bunch of things. I feel angry because I wanted my website for today. I feel sad because actually I liked that website. I actually realized that I liked that website, and maybe I'm not going to be able to get some of that back, but maybe I am. So, but let's play together with this, okay? Pick something that's bugging you right now. Take a deep breath.
All right, you got to find something that's bugging you first. So it could be something that you're mad about, but it could be just something that's a little irritating to you or just getting under your skin, right?
Yeah, something irritating.
All right.
A person, a place, a thing. If you were doing the work with Byron Katie, it could be, you know, somebody that really bothered you and you decided that you needed to really judge them.
Got it.
That's a whole other story, doing the work with Byron Katie's process. But just think about something that's bugging you, and now where do you feel that? Do you feel that in your body? Do you feel it like that bugging feeling? Where is that? And maybe make a note of it. Where do you feel it? Where in your body?
Well, when I think about it, I feel, first of all, I feel heat, more heat than normal. You know, I create a little heat when I'm doing this show anyway. That's just part of the process. But no, I feel more warmth in my body, and I feel a little agitated down in my gut. Down in the gut. Yeah, that's where I pick it up.
Now, does that agitation, Virginia, in your gut, does it have a shape?
Oh, it's not a formed shape. It's sort of like a blob all over there.
Blob, an amorphous blob. And does it have color?
Color, yeah, the first thing that comes to mind is green, which is interesting because I like green, but that's what's coming to mind.
Green. And what about texture?
Texture is kind of soft and formless.
And soft, amorphous, green.
Now, I hope the rest of you are doing this. Don't make me the only guinea pig. I want to see your comments on the comment stream. What are you feeling when you get a little irritated or, bothered by something? Okay.
Irritated. Do you, as you're feeling that now, does it have something to say to you?
Yes. What it says to me is it's just not important in the scheme of things.
Ah. And how does that make you feel?
Okay, I'd love to resolve it. It's one of those, many-year unresolved issues that I'd love to resolve, but perhaps instead I'm just supposed to not give any energy or attention to it. That's what I'm picking up. So maybe that's what the green has to do.
Yeah, so here's what you can do with that. We don't have a lot of time right now, but that feeling that you have in your body, it is there for a reason, and it can be instructive for you. And so the whole point about get mad to get clear is feeling our feelings instead of shoving them aside. So in the case of what you just said, maybe I just need to forget about it. It doesn't really work. It's more like we need to go through, we need to just allow ourselves to feel, because I think we learn early on, wow, these things don't feel good, I don't want to feel them. And when we feel them in our bodies, we can just feel them without any judgment. And it may be that we, have another emotion, like we might cry or we might get more angry. And so the point is to allow ourselves to feel those and be communicated by our emotions. Without doing that, we're limiting ourselves to the full spectrum of the creative impulse that we have.
Got it. So as I bring this feeling and this emotion up, which is very old, as I say, it's one of those things I can't resolve. Therefore, that's why it kind of is irritating. It's out of my control to resolve it.
Yeah.
And so you're saying to get clear with that, to get mad and then get clear, is at least acknowledging it's there in the background.
Acknowledging it and listening to it.
Okay.
And it's my expertise is more in helping people to develop their businesses, but I can refer you or others to specific individuals who are really, really good at taking you all the way to the clearing of that, which can be done in 25 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I like that.
Yeah. So
all right. Well, let's look at
but I do have a little story because I wanted to tell this little story of an employee of ours came in one day and she said, I just can't get my car sold. And I've done everything. I've posted. I've got this car detailed. It's beautiful. And it just won't sell. And she ranted actually for several days about this. So finally I said to her, look, I said, why don't you want to sell your car? And that's when she exploded and got mad. And she said, I do. See, I told you. I've done everything. I've posted. I've cleaned it. I've done everything. This car just won't sell. And then I said, well, tell me what you love about the car. And then she went like, well, it's gorgeous. When it drives so well. And when I ride in it, everyone looks at me and I feel so beautiful. And when I put my kid in the back seat and like the people who I'm trying to attract, they're like noticing me in the car, and we saw that there was a love affair with this car. And so that's what I was talking about earlier with the competing emotions. my other coworker and I looked at her and looked at each other, and we said, oh, now we see. And she caught herself in it, and she's like, oh, okay. And she went and spoke to the car, and she said, car, you are not my car. I am divorcing you. And I mean, did really almost nothing else but changed her energy around the car, and the car was sold in 3 days. It was something in her emotions and her connections and the competing and conflicting emotions that was keeping that car from selling. So that is a tip for y'all, that it's just get in there and muck around, find out what's going on in the emotional world. It will set you free in your creative output.
Oh, I love that story. That's just a great example.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's say hi to a few people we've got hanging out here with us today. I want to say hi to Elaine Nieberding. Great to see you always, Elaine. We've got Neil Brown here. We've got Josie James and Maura Torkeldson, Lynn Sanders, and V-Lynn Hawkins, Crystal Kazane. Hey, Crystal, with your new baby. Can't wait to see that cutie pie. Lynn Sanders, Rex Verschuren, and let's see, Jeremy Murphy. All you great people, thank you so much for joining us. Okay, and Ron Snaberger, wonderful. Okay, so let's go on to the next topic, and that is emptying your mind to fill it. I think that's really a fascinating creative strategy. So let's talk about that a minute.
Well, what happens with our minds is that, especially mine, it just gets going and like taunts, like you don't really know what you're gonna say, or you're gonna mess it up, or whatever like that, or it just needs to be ordered, the mind. And so this is a very left brain thing, but making a creative brief is one way to order the mind. Doing the capture method, which allows you to write down everything that your mind is torturing you about. For example, if you are you're sitting down to write something, your blog, and in the back there's all of this, but you should be doing this, you should be doing this, you should be doing this kind of chatter. Just getting it all down on a piece of paper so you can say, it will be handled, but that's over there, and now I'm going to focus over here, is really, really helpful. The creative brief is a really good way to engage a group of people in the creating from an empty mind kind of a status, because with a creative brief, you get kind of like the capture, you get everything that is a known down on a piece of paper, and then you expose the openings, the unknowns, and then you send everybody who's involved in the problem solving of the creating to make their offering to that part which is not yet known. So it's a getting clear about what you already know so that you can open and relax and fill in from the parts that you don't know. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. The other thing I would add to that for me would be easier than writing it all down, because that's tedious. Even if I'm typing, I'm not the fast typer, but I'm just thinking about, okay, all this stuff that's in the way or interfering or tapping on your shoulder saying, pay attention to me. I'm just thinking, how about just recording it all? Just grab your phone, turn on your recorder, and record all this stuff, then set it aside. You've got it down. You don't have to put so much energy into typing it and all that. And then go back to, now, what is it I really want to focus on? I'll deal with that later.
Exactly. So whatever it takes for you individually to let go of that mind chatter or that sense of churn is the emptying. So for many people, it's meditation. For many people, it's exercise. It can be, but whatever it is, it's just a settling down and allowing the mind to fill afresh. And for me, sometimes I learned this from Crystal, who's in our audience, is making a choice, which is I choose to know, which is letting go of everything else that's taunting me and where I think I might have to get a right answer or a perfect answer or something else, just putting that all aside and then just saying, I am going to be okay with what comes to me, instead of having to force and push to create something out there. I'm just going to allow something to come to me.
Okay, so that's really moving into a state of allowing. So as you put everything aside, now you're allowing yourself to be filled with creative possibilities.
Yes.
And you're also not judging them, I'm understanding. You're just allowing them to come to you as possibilities, and then you can tune in even deeper to the ones that maybe get you the most excited, that go back into your body and say which ones really get my juices going, so to speak.
Yes, yes. I mean, truthfully, you know, some people say that from the neck up, it's all entertainment. It's, you know, this thought process that happens that it's really great to be able to use our minds and be able to think. But we also have all this kind of knowing installed in us as human beings, that all this body knowledge that we can tap when we're relaxed. And I'm taking a little martial arts class right now, and I'm coming to understand that really the power is in the relaxation. So I think that's true whether you're learning how to use your body in a sport, in a martial art, or in creating something to be able to access from our deepest point of creativity. We must be relaxed. So whatever it takes to get you relaxed.
Yeah. Well, so I'm seeing some fun comments here. So let's take a pause with that.
Okay.
We can all relax, and Robin can relax. And let's say hi to a few people who I love having on the show, and bring their comments up. We've got this one from Lynn. So true, Robin. Our emotions create energy that attracts or dispels. That's the law of strategic attraction, which she's actually doing a wonderful show on later this week. So great. Then we've got Elaine. You guys crack me up. From the neck up, it's all entertainment. That's a new one, Robin. Yep, it is. It's a good one, though. We're all entertainment. Maura, she's saying that, yes, staying with the emotions which are expressed physically allows them to move through. It helps if you can stay with the physical expression and out of your story. Boy, Maura, I think that's a really good point.
That's an excellent point.
And Elaine, again, got to pop her back up. The sell the car story was so valuable to understand the power of recognizing emotions. Absolutely. So got a lot of stuff going on here from an emotional standpoint. So let's go into the third topic. And I love this one because I think, you know, we get out of childhood, and for some reason we don't give ourselves permission to act stupid, to be silly. Elaine might be my only exception. I know, boy, she's got that one down. But for a lot of us, we really become intimidated by being silly. So talk to us about that, how you get stupid to get smart.
Okay. Well, this is one of my favorite tricks, actually, because back in Totally Games, when we were developing some new products, we had a man working with us who had been training Chinese game developers. And if you've been involved in Chinese culture, they're very creative, and the way that they're creative is different than sort of the way that one would go about creating a game design. It's being able to sort of open the box and create from out of the box. So what Eric did with these students that was extremely successful was he made them create the stupidest game design they could. And they had to turn this in. He was an adjunct professor at a university in Shanghai, and he made them, as an assignment, turn in the stupidest game design document they could come up with. And everyone had to do this, and it really actually created a disturbance for some of them. It's like, you know, because it flies in the face of perfectionism, and it flies in the face of our judgment. But in fact, it's what's great about it is it allows us to put judgment all the way aside. So whenever somebody has creative block, I tell them, and when I have it, I tell them to do the stupidest thing they can think of. And maybe do another one. In fact, I think he had them turn in like 10 designs. Do a number of stupid ideas, because inevitably there are going to be many good ideas that come there that you could not possibly access from the I will do it in a linear way manner. So that's pretty much the trick, you guys. It's not brain surgery, but it's really a great way to trick your best work out of you or out of your team.
Yeah, I love it because you've done I think the most important prerequisite that is that you have to take judgment out of the picture.
Yeah.
You can't do something that you consider stupid. And, well, I guess you're prejudging it in a way. You're judging that it's stupid, but you're giving yourself permission to expand on the stupid concept. Yeah. And with the idea is that brilliance can come from that.
Yeah, and it likely will, because what's happening is our trained approach and our ego and whatever we grew up with, you know, how something should be done is all in the way a lot of times. And so we need to have these ways that we can take detours around those, and this is one.
Yeah, well, I want you to see Maura's comment here. She says, I love this. What a great concept. We are giving you all permission to act stupid, to be stupid, to do some stupid things. Now, within reason. Do not walk out in front of a whole mess of cars going fast. That's,
and actually,
stupid is dumb.
That's the true meaning of stupid, but we're talking about things that people would judge as stupid.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, that's just terrific. Okay, well, can you just wrap this all up for us, Robin, as far as what you felt has been the best advice that you've taken for being creative when you've been blocked? Because, you know, even though you're a creative person, we all have creative blocks. And so what's your number one go-to as far as when you're feeling blocked creatively? Creatively.
My number one block is to go do something stupid.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, it's pick myself up, physically move, go turn on some ridiculous music. I have some circus music sometimes I put on, and get out of that space of linear and rigid and perfectionism and how it should be done, and instead go for something completely, you know, and now for something totally different, right?
Yeah.
Something ridiculous.
So you're saying you could go put on some circus clown type of music as an example, and then just sort of get out of touch with your body to the point that you can just be frivolous with it. You can just go crazy with the feelings and with what comes out and sort of shake your energy loose.
Yes.
You know, one that I've seen done amazingly at a bowling alley. I thought that was funny. But they were trying to get out of the rhythm and the pattern that they were using, so they did several turns counterclockwise. Have you ever tried to do that?
No, not necessarily, but anything you can do that changes the body orientation in space is going to make a difference. Whether it's spinning, like the 5 Tibetans' first exercise is a big spin, right? You know, spinning, going and doing anything physical, getting on into a headstand, looking at the world from upside down.
That's good.
You can't do any of that. You can do what Elaine does and do your laughter yoga. You can even do it, you know, the quiet way. That's really fun because, you know, you think you're getting away with something in a way. That's, you know, anything that makes you feel yourself free. Freedom.
And is there a time frame that you would recommend, or is it going to be individual for each person? Like if you're going to go get stupid and so that you can get clear, I would think you could do that in less than a couple minutes. You don't have to go.
You can do it in 30 seconds. Yeah. Because you can change your brain chemistry pretty fast. You know, Elaine's taught us that with laughing. Just getting oxygen to the body. You know? Yeah.
Well, here's Elaine saying to you, I have to try the do something stupid thing today for sure. Ha 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 ha. And Lynn, she said, taking away our internal critic allows more creativity to flow. Yes, it does. That internal critic. Oh, sometimes I just want to strangle it.
I know.
Like, or get it off my shoulder, anything like that.
Well, you can actually talk to it. You can pretend that it's real, make it into a giant monster, and then wrestle it to the floor and play with it. But mostly embrace and accept it, appreciate it as part of the whole picture that is actually here to help you be better.
I love that. So it's not being overly negative about it, recognizing it's there attempting to provide something for you. You just need to reframe it so that it doesn't feel so icky.
Yeah, because the resistance to it is part of its game.
So I like that. So I like the idea of getting down on the floor and wrestling with it. Like you might get down on the floor and wrestle with your kids, kind of thing. So it's playful.
Pretend alligator.
Yeah. Wonderful. Well, these are great ideas, and I hope all of you are picking some of these up and stashing away in your brain when you feel blocked, when you feel like your creative juices aren't flowing for you. Robin's given us some great ones. Get mad to get clear, empty the mind to fill it, and then finally get stupid to get smart. And I'm having a feeling that there's quite a few people that are going to play around with this getting stupid one.
Yeah. Put it in the comments what you do.
And Lynn is suggesting that maybe we should use the word silly instead of stupid. Hey, Lynn, if that one works for you, go get silly.
Yeah, stupid worked for the game designers.
Yeah, and here's one.
They needed it to be that strong.
Right, they did.
That's a good one, right with your opposite hand. Yeah.
Yes, Josie, this is a good one, right with your opposite hand. Again, anything that's going to break the pattern that you might be stuck in.
Yes.
Makes a lot of sense. Well, thank you. I just think these are great ideas, Robin. And let's leave our audience with one last thought that you might want them to take home with them. And while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and post in the comment section where all of you who wants to come and get silly or whatever, just say hi to Robin and me. You can join us in the after show in just a moment. So I'm going to go ahead and post that right now. Robin, go ahead.
Well, I would just like to invite you to put in the comment stream something that you would love to create that it's a little bit nagging at you and you haven't quite done it yet, because I would like to spark that. And when you put it into a comment, it's taking one step towards doing it. And my job here on the planet is to make sure people take that step, and they take the next step, and they take the next step. And I do help business owners who want to take the next step with their business, especially if they're feeling kind of restless, like there's something not quite, maybe it's stagnant or something. But everybody has a something next that's pulling them forward, and most of us it's crossing the threshold to do that, where all the learning and all the gain is, but we do have to take that step. So if you will, make the first step by putting it in the comment stream what you want to do.
Perfect, Robin. Thank you so much. And there has been great comments. I want to thank all of you for being here with us today and taking your time to learn from Robin. I think she's given us all some great and valuable understanding and ideas. So thank you for being here. We're going to sign off now until I see you next week on the Inspirational Business Women Show. Thanks for stopping by, and I hope that you'll join us in the after show. Thanks. Take care now. Bye-bye.